Welcome back, everybody. You just moved into your new house and you got some blemishes on the wall and you got some damage from moving furniture. So the furniture dented your wall, so we're going to learn how to patch that today. Now that we damaged the wall while we were moving furniture, it ripped the paper off and we reached the paper. So now we're going to have to kill stain it. Before we kill stain it, we're going to clean out the wound because this is like a battle wound now. We're going to dust it all out, pull out any loose pieces around the edge that are going to get in the way of us patching. You can't put latex on this portion because if you do, it's going to bubble up because it's paper. So we're going to have to kill stain the paper portion before we patch it because the patching will do the same thing. If you try to put patching on the paper, it'll get in there with the water content of the patching and it will bubble this. Then you're going to have a big mess on your hand. You're going to have to start all over, cut out the whole thing and do it again. So we're going to do it the professional way and I'm going to show you how. You're going to want to shake up the kill stain. Okay, what I did was I sprayed a little of the kill stain into the cover to eliminate the fumes throughout the house. And all we're going to do is dab the brush in there, pig hair bristle chip brush, and we're going to dab it on. And we're going to cover all of this cardboard that's revealed when we move some furniture and hit the wall. So we're going to go like that and we're going to prime that. So go ahead and don't be shy. Put a lot on there. So it's going to suck into that and dry up. And then I'm going to lightly sand it and we're going to start working on the hole itself right here. Okay, that should be good. Perfect. Now that the kill stain is done and dried and it's sanded, let's work on the patch itself. Now that the patch is sanded, we want to lightly dust it off with our little chip brush. Go ahead and hit the hole, get out any imperfections in there. There may be a little dust in there. Go ahead and clean it out. Very good. So we'll put a little bit more in. Bit in over here. We just want to fill it in the hole. All right, so we're going to let that dry a little bit. So we're going to lightly sand around the perimeter, and we want to lightly sand where we brush stroked it. Just in case there's any kind of imperfections from the patching and a little bit of imperfection from the brush strokes. A little bit of sanding just to make sure there's no rough edges. And we're going to take our chip brush and we're going to dust it off to make sure that the patch can properly adhere. Now we're going to use our 1 inch to add some product. And then we're going to use our 3 inch to trowel it because our patch is a little bit bigger because of the paper. So we're going to want to get a little thin coat of joint compound on there. Now we're going to let that dry because I put a thin coat around the patch area as well as the recessed hole where it sucked in when it dried. So we're going to let that dry and then we're going to give that a light sanding and check it to see if it needs a third coat. And then we'll continue on with a light sanding. It is receding in a little bit. We could see that now. That's the second coat, but we're going to let that dry, give it a light scuff with the sandpaper, and then we're going to do a third coat. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the third coat on because we saw it recessing right here. So let's go ahead and add some, and then let's use our 3 inch blade. And let's let this dry here for a little while and we're going to check it again because we want to make sure this is the living room wall that got damaged while moving the furniture. And if we don't do it properly and then sand the perimeter properly, you're going to have a buildup and then you won't be able to sand it. And then when you're looking at it all dry, it will look like a bulge on the wall. We're not trying to create a bulge. We're trying to create a flat surface, keeping it flush with the adjacent wall. And then we want to sand it properly. So when we do, and I go to roll this, it totally disappears on the wall. That's what the purpose and the principle of doing it right is. Anybody can come in here and throw some compound on here with some tape, and then you're going to look down your wall and you're going to see it. Anybody can throw mesh on here, a round sticker, and then try to stick that to cover it. But the best way to do damaged walls is do it professionally. Let's zoom in so we understand what we're looking at. There's the bullseye. It looks like it may need just a little bit more. We'll take care of that after it dries. It was just a little teeny spot. Then we're going to sand it up. We're going to move on to the next process, which is priming this with a roller to get the same texture as the existing wall. Let that dry, and then we're going to give it a second coat, and you're going to watch this patch entirely disappear like it was never there. Let's inspect this like Sherlock Holmes. Okay, I've seen a lot of good patches in my days. We want to make sure that this is okay. So when your mom and dad get home, they won't notice that you threw furniture and items through the wall when you were painting, or your landlord won't see the damage that you did. Let's check it with the jewel. Oh, that's looking really good. Okay, incredible. This is fine quality workmanship right here. All right, we're going to lightly sand this right now, and then we're going to move on to priming it. All right, so we're going to lightly sand it, get a little circular motion going there. Remember, though, there was a little tear here in the paperwork. Okay, let's get our chip brush, dust that all off. That's looking pretty fine if you ask me. We're going to move on to priming right now. All right, let's get the roller prepped up with some paint on it so it evenly distributes it across the sheetrock. We want to put it down into our reservoir, and then we could draw it back up here to evenly distribute it. Go ahead, prime that. We're going to let that dry because it's going to need 2 coats, because it's going to absorb into the patch area, the compound. So we're going to let that dry. And when it does, we'll apply the second coat and we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at your professional workmanship. You can see where it's drying. There's a ring, our outline. That's the oil primer and the patching. And that should blend in fine when it dries. So we're just going to let that dry up. So it's drying nicely right in here. And I'm going to give it another coat right now. We're going to give it some texture, and we're going to blend that right in so you don't even see it. All right, let's apply the second coat and give it some texture. We're going to let that dry. You certainly can't see the patch. Looking pretty smooth from this angle. Big thumbs up for the people who do quality workmanship. Keep up the good work. Give us a like and follow, subscribe. Let's get the algorithms going. I appreciate you watching my video, and stand by because I'll have more interesting videos.